The ESI of Captan is 0.67, similar to planets KUI 40501 and Kepler 62f. According to estimates, these planets are among the leading candidates for the discovery of alien life forms. Of course, age alone is not sufficient to explain the existence of life, but it greatly increases the likelihood of its habitability. The formation of life is a very long and complex process. If 450 billion years is enough for life on Earth to get to the point where you're watching this video right now, then Captain's 1150 billion years may be enough for microbes to emerge. Maybe over the years, these ancient life forms have been watching us closely. If you visit the original face of Pluto, he would show images like this: volcanoes spewing water instead of lava. The ocean of liquid stretched from one end of the field of view to the other, filled with bizarre life forms. Billions of years ago, Pluto might have been like that. However, as time goes by, the planet's interior is gradually running out of heat, and the sun doesn't provide enough energy to maintain its warmth. So Pluto's surface is covered in ice. But even so, it's not completely frozen. Beneath its thick ice shell, there's still an ocean of liquid. Signs of active volcanoes can also be found on Pluto's surface. It seems that Pluto may be slowly returning to its original state. Maybe even give birth to life again. But to really imagine the full picture of Pluto, we need to uncover his hidden secrets. Pluto's journey dates back about 460 billion years. It was born almost at the same time as the Earth. Today, the surface area of Neptune is the size of South America. But even longer ago, it was about 2.5 times as big, and almost entirely covered by liquid seas. Ocean coverage, however, we also know. Pluto is 40 times farther from the Sun than the Earth. At such a distance, the existence of a liquid ocean seems to be compensated. To solve this mystery, we have to look further into the past. The beginning of the formation of the solar system, scientists believe that the planets in our solar system formed in a circular disk around the early Sun. A circular astrolabe is a ring of flat objects orbiting a star. So the orbits in the solar system are roughly in the same plane. This applies to all planets. But Pluto is an exception. Here's the thing: after the planets formed, its orbit may change. Scientists speculate that Jupiter map, Uranus and Neptune originally traveled closer to the Sun than they do now, but then gradually moved away. And as Neptune gradually moves away from the Sun, its attractive force pulls several lighter objects, including Pluto, out of their original orbit. That is to say, at the birth of Pluto, he is closer to the Sun. Therefore, enough heat can be obtained to form a liquid ocean. At the same time, Pluto's original atmosphere was 40 times denser than the atmosphere of Mars. Today, it is only $100,000 the density of the Earth's atmosphere. And only during the Pluto summer, when the planet is slightly closer to the Sun, this thin atmosphere is only temporarily visible as the ice evaporates. The almost complete absence of an atmosphere makes it difficult to contain liquid matter on Pluto's surface. However, Neptune was not the only celestial object to change Pluto's fate. Pluto's environment has also undergone profound changes due to the appearance of a moon. It's called Charon. Its diameter is said to be half that of Pluto. And what's even more extraordinary is this: Charon's side always faces to Pluto in the system of Pluto and Charon. Satellites don't revolve around planets. Instead, they both operate together around a reinforcement point called the new reinforcement point. Charon was formed about 450 billion years ago. About 100 million years after Pluto, Scientists speculate that a scientific belt object smashed into early Pluto at a very high speed. The collision caused a sea change on Pluto's surface, formed the heart of Hades, the famous Tangbo district. This area is a glacier rich in light ice. Extending over 1,200 kilometers, scientists speculate that, billions of years ago, there is an ocean of liquid water beneath Pluto. But in the collision of the early card capacity, part of this ocean was squeezed out. At the same time formed the huge Charon moon. Therefore, the surface of the card is mainly composed of water ice, and Pluto is covered in bullets. The collision also caused Pluto's curious rotation. Now his axis cleans at about 120 degrees. The tilt of the Earth is only 23 degrees. This extreme tilt causes Pluto's polar regions to experience day and night only once every 124 Earth years. But the impact did more than that. In 2011, a team of Brazilian scientists calculated that a ring system may form around bright net stars. It is 750 times smaller than Saturn's ring system, and fainter. A 2013 simulation study further revealed that Mingguang may have 10 satellites in addition to the ring system. However, when the New Horizons probe returned images of Pluto in 2015, scientists made a surprising discovery. There are no ring systems around the planet. There are no new satellites, only the previously discovered card capacity, night god Mingwei-sun, 5 satellites of Kronos and Styx. The principal investigator of the New Horizons mission, Planet, scientist Alan Stern believes that the absence of rings and new moons around Pluto was the most surprising finding of the mission. But if ice oxygen can be retrieved from the surface of the Charon or Tombaugh area, maybe there will be even more sensational discoveries. If the ice on Charon's surface was once part of Pluto's liquid ocean, there may be signs of life there. Now, the opportunity to detect Pluto gold has brought more puzzles to scientists. So, for example, look very closely at an area on the surface of Pluto. Did you notice those oddly shaped cracks? These cracks are called ice spiders. It is one of the unique geological structures on the surface of Pluto. The longest of these cracks extends up to 580 kilometers north-south. Surprisingly, this spider structure is quite similar to similar structures on Venus and Mercury. Scientists believe that these cracks may be the result of Pluto's ice shell expanding due to rising internal heat. Like when a volcano erupts, lava surges up and lifts the layers. However, Pluto does not have a hot face, so they don't form volcanoes in the traditional sense. But from the images taken by the Shinichino, there are indeed volcanic structures on the surface of Pluto, in the southwest of Sputnik Plains. The 2 peaks named Mount Leyte and Mount Picard are actually ice volcanoes. Although the average temperature of Pluto is only -232 degrees Celsius, but the ice that forms here is a hydrophilic mixture of light ice from volcanic eruptions. It's got the consistency of toothpaste. Pluto's largest ice volcano, Mount Picard, is nearly 7 kilometers tall. Its crater is 225 kilometers wide, almost the size of Mauna Loa, the largest volcano on Earth. However, Pluto is only 1/6 the size of Earth. Scientists speculate that these ice volcanoes form in about 2 billion years ago. The last volcanic eruption was hundreds of millions of years ago. By cosmic standards, this is a fairly recent event. However, this is not the weirdest geological phenomenon on Pluto. In the western part of Sputnik Plain, the surface of Pluto is like a giant lava lamp. These ice cubes between 16 and 48 kilometers in diameter are actually constantly moving bodies of ice. Their edges are covered with coarse nitrogen ice, and the center is incredibly smooth. That's because it's solid, but it's affected by the heat inside Pluto. Becomes light and rises to the surface. It cools down and sinks. Repeat the cycle. The cycle of this movement is about 500,000 years. Active ice volcanoes, surface rift Ganges, surging ice. There are various indications that Pluto is heating up. So, where does the heat of this distant planet come from? Pluto is 6 billion kilometers from the Sun. Light takes 5.5 hours to get here. The brightest day on the star Ming King is only equivalent to the brightness of the night of the full moon on Earth. However, Mingbang still receives intense solar radiation. The reason is that the flag of this planet is extremely thin. It doesn't offer any effective protection. So we can see some strange features on the surface of Pluto, like mountains like snakeskin, or like a gnawed rock. This terrain is caused by the direct influence of sunlight. The ice that makes up these mountains and rocks doesn't melt into a liquid state when exposed to sunlight. Its sublimation leaves strange surface textures, although the influence of the sun can alter Pluto's landscape. But it doesn't explain the emergence of liquid oceans. Scientists speculate that the liquid ocean beneath Pluto's surface may have existed for billions of years. Pluto wasn't formed as cold as it is now. His core may release heat from the decay of radioactive new elements to heat the interior of the planet. And beneath the ice shell, a liquid ocean is formed up to 150 kilometers deep. The thickness of the floating ice can reach 300 kilometers. As time goes by, the planet is cooling down. The ocean is partially frozen, and the water expands as it freezes. Pluto's ice spider rift may be due to a partially frozen subsurface ocean, the result of ice crust cracking. In addition, Pluto's impact craters are also very different from ordinary ice impact craters. When the cloud falls and hits the ice, usually leaves a round depression with smooth and clear edges. However, most impact craters on Uranus have irregular margins, as if stretched in half. This does not imply Pluto may still have an ocean that is not completely frozen beneath its surface. The geological activity on Pluto's surface is also reflected in those floating ice dunes. These isolated water ice mounds are about 500 meters high. Located in Tangbo District, Danbingbing River, scientists believe that these ice mounds can float on the surface of star mounds because the ice beneath them periodically heats up and moves. This suggests that the liquid ocean deep within Pluto may not have completely frozen up until now. And the culprit who kept him from freezing completely was Charon. Neptune and Charon can be regarded as a binary system. The distance between them is 195,000 kilometers, only 1/20 of the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So Charon's tidal influence on Pluto is particularly significant. This has also become a key force in maintaining the inner activity of Pluto. Tidal heating in layman's terms, causing Pluto's orbital and rotational movements to generate friction within it. It generates heat. Although this heat is not enough to turn this loving heart into a world inhabited by humans, but probably enough to keep its subsurface ocean liquid. Wherever there is an ocean, there is a possibility of life. It's going to sound crazy, but Pluto does have the conditions. One of the strongest evidence is Pluto's red whale. But it wasn't a real whale. It's a region near Pluto's white heart. It's called Kuturu. It is located near the equator of Pluto. It's about 3,000 kilometers long. The entire area is covered with a unique red sediment. Therefore, it is called Hongjin. Scientists believe that this region evolved during the formation of the card capacity. Chiwa Prefecture, an associate professor at Tokyo Institute of Technology, studied the process by which coronoplasma impacted Pluto, and computer simulations were performed. His calculations show that, after such a violent impact, the oceans near the equator of Uranus will heat up significantly. Over time, these oceans are cooling. Complex organic matter forms on the surface. That gives this region a deep red hue. These words and